Countless earthly pilgrims lost a will to live. The king of their hand plays a bitch because of mental explosion, brain corrosion, collecting heads and Romans, awaken the lost tribes, that's the dozing. The prophet type erosion to resurrect the chosen, while the universe stands frozen. The prophecies start unfolding, exploding. While the whole world sleeps, the shepherds are lost. Sheep creep deep to the golden gates. It's Esau, the Lord hates, from crime to thievery to even murder and rape. We close the drapes, watch them like grapes, while these fakes that perpetrate. My people, there's no equal in this. We do the ride every 7 and 6. I know it's hard like bricks, but don't trip, we got the kingdom coming. No more slumming and bumming, the Lord's coming. Busting through, reach St. John 4 and 22, and guess who? The Lord's got a sword for. Settle the score. All you heathens hit the floor. See these 12 stars, defenders of the law. Tiger wasn't up to par for this. Scandalous, murderous, evangelists who's girded up, ready to die for the words of the script. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel. You heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone where we excel. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel. You heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone where we excel.
It's on. I pop my color like spawn. Transform a sandstorm, right? I take storm, reborn like the children of the corn with the going on. Legion is swarm, be warm, sound of alarms, I haunt. Dreams like hideous screams, posted in between ivory beams. Israelite kings, scandalous, particular cancer, bandage and damage and challenges. Brandish handles with silence and smite them, light them like halogens. Oh, yeah, drop the ass, spark the block up, super shoulders, dropping bombs, bows, and boulders. Big shots blaze, big buzz with big bowlers. I stop blazing, weed to stack dollars. Got more styles, more grooves than Elijah. Got most moves, so smooth, so cool, roll through and roast. You see lyrical vocals, cold crush and flow through. Sandstorm riders inside us a motherfucking riot, phantom menaces with nail wrinkles of blemishes. Sinister venomous citizens witness the advantages in. Back to Genesis, it's simple and plain. We got you breaking for the bridge like Ichabod Crane. It's on.
We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel. You heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone where we excel. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel. You heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone where we
I represent the struggle for excellence. No one can keep alive. A ghetto survivor born in a generation of vipers. The venom be the backbite, hating individuals here. Snake slither and snare, we don't feel but here.
Affliction is straight rough on the J, especially when you've been thrown in a pit of snakes. My breath intake be great, my mind state is like whatever it takes. I ain't out for the dough, let's get it straight. Now you wanna be bold, let the truth be told. Most of us don't know, we were sold like black gold. Niggas don't care, you rather get blowed. I ain't staying silent like tiptoes, I'm up early like the crow.
Pain and discipline, souls together in game, rather than shatter and stain. Build the tattered and main, banish the damaged and lame. Ravish the bastards that claim, repping this thing. See what more balls and jock straps, more balls and crotch grass, more balls and spalling, more balls and rolling. Got more balls and all of them here. Back to New Orleans, rap stingers and lingers that represent like symbols and flags and middle fingers.
We don't linger, make it happen with the Nina. I'm a head turner like Tina. Looking for wisdom, have you seen her? SOJ, we leading the race. Keep up the pace, now follow the leaders, come on. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel. You heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone where we excel. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel. You heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone where we excel.
All right, here we go. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Ahmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Shalom, shalom, peace, welcome, good evening, all that good stuff, man. Hopefully everybody's doing well at the beginning of the Lord's Day, the Shabbat. Here for another episode, DSTM, and another lesson through the Spirit of the Most High in Christ. You see the title in Jim Crow 2.0 is happening. If you haven't heard or you don't know, we're going to talk about that. And what does that mean? You know, the Civil Rights Voting Act got readjusted down there in Louisiana in the boot. And it's not looking good for black folks who were trusting in the oppression and wanting to vote. It ain't looking good for them. And that's just the start. Louisiana, they're moving over to Mississippi, Florida. There's other states like Maryland. Where else? Maryland, New Jersey are trying to make some modifications to their Voting Rights Act for protections for civil rights. But the good old boys down south, they're making a move, right? So we also got some war updates. We got the economic updates. Y'all seen what happened early in the week? Was it a false flag or was it another real, quote unquote, assassination attempt on the head orangutan, Agent Orange? Everybody's got their opinions. As soon as it happened, maybe like within 24 hours, people are already on top of it. False flag, fake, you're not fooling us no more with this foolishness. So we're going to look a little bit at that as well, man. If you're doing all right, I'm coming in clear. Throw a 7 in the chat for your brother. Do me that solid. In the meantime, salute to the Saints. Salute to the Saints that's tapping in this evening. We got Uziel in the house. Hashemai in the house. Shalom to you, Ashar, Koaf, anybody and everybody else is going to be joining us. Shalom to y'all. I'll be catching it tomorrow during the day portion of the Shabbat. Shalom to you. All right. And Shabbat Shalom. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So let's begin here. Let me see something. Share my screen that way, right? And we're gonna let orangutan orange, man. Orange Bang. Y'all remember that? That drink, Orange Bang? You got Orange Bang, you got Agent Orange, you got the orangutan orangutan in charge, whatever. Here, let's let him bury himself a little bit more. I'm just gonna start doing lie of the week. I'm gonna try to look for clips, look for some quotes or something from him that is ultimately gonna prove that he's a lie, right? But it's got to be done. So let's hear what he's saying. This is the latest update according to him regarding the war.
So they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it. So we'll see what happens.
There, one lie already. They want to make a deal. Last I heard, the U.S. is the one who called for the ceasefire. The U.S. is the ones who wanted to meet to discuss the extension of the ceasefire, ultimately trying to come to a peace agreement. They're the ones bringing this all to the table. Y'all remember last week when they were supposed to meet up again on Tuesday, Iran said, we're not even coming. No, Shalaki, it was last Sabbath. They were supposed to come and meet up last Sabbath. J.D. Vance, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, they all were saying they were coming to go have a peace talk. And Iran said, we're not showing up. We don't want to talk. So he's lying again, saying they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal. But he doesn't like what they're saying. They're not saying anything. They're not even talking to him. So what is he? All right.
Deal, but I'm not satisfied with it. So we'll see what happens. Iran wants to make a deal because they have no military left, essentially, and they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it.
They have no military left. Listen to that.
Great respect for Pakistan and Islamabad, and tremendous respect for the Prime Minister and the Field Marshal, and they're working with us. They continue to work with us, but the trip is a very long one, and we're doing everything in terms of negotiate right now. In terms of the negotiation telephonically, they've made strides, but I'm not sure if they ever get there.
That's the one true thing that he said. He's not sure if they'll ever get there. He knows they ain't gonna have no damn deal. He knows Iran is not having it. And we're gonna further prove that very soon, very shortly. He knows the writing is on the wall. He knows what time it is. And he's being disingenuous when he's talking about this whole ceasefire deal, because we'll see in a minute why the U.S. is the ones who's backing down and slowing down the motion. He's lying, saying it's Iran, but he has to do this based upon the War Powers Act. He has to stop fighting. We're going to see.
There's tremendous discord. They're having a tremendous problem getting along with each other.
Hold it. Remember, I said every time he says something about another nation, another kingdom, he's talking about himself. He said, hold on. There's tremendous
discord. They're having a tremendous problem getting along with each other.
Wait a minute. So you trying to tell me the Republicans and the Democrats are getting along fine and everything's great right now? You trying to tell me that we haven't seen multiple military generals quit or be fired? We haven't seen multiple firings within his cabinet? Huh? What? He says they're having tremendous discord. He's losing generals every week. The labor secretary just got fired last week. What's the other chick? That was Christy Nome, the head of ICE. She's got action 86. What was it? The Navy general. He got up out of there. What's the name of old girl that was his mouthpiece? The blonde that he fired her after she acted a damn fool in that congressional hearing and made him look bad. I mean, let's knock it off. He's saying they're the ones with all the problems. We hear nothing of the sort. Let me back it up.
But I'm not sure if they ever get there. There's tremendous discord. They're having a tremendous problem getting along with each other in Iran. The leadership is very disjointed.
The leadership is very disjointed. They just had reports about J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth arguing and going at it. Y'all just seen last week, they had to kick him out of his own damn meeting. Agent Orange. They had to kick him out of the meeting over him being upset about the helicopter pilots that crashed, and they had to shut him down, asking for the nuke codes. This dude is unbelievable.
It's got 2 to 3 groups, maybe 4, and it's a very disjointed leadership. And with that being said, they all want to make a deal, but they're all messed up.
That's the pot calling the kettle black, man. He's the one talking about they all want to make it. God damn, this dude can't. All right, you know what? Let's let the word talk. Let's let the Most High go ahead and put him in his place, right? We're gonna get right to the classics, man. Right to the classics. Why? Because this is how we know that America is on its way down. The trajectory of America is sliding down a hill, what they say, with gasoline draws on, going straight to damn hell. That's why we call him the devil, the chief deceiver. Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Nobody wants to negotiate. Nobody wants to get along with America right now. He just got through putting Italy and I believe Spain on blast because they're not with this war. And he's saying, oh, I got a real big problem with them because they want Iran to have nukes. Everybody knows this war had nothing to do with no damn nukes. He's been saying since the 80s, if it was up to him, he would go over there and snatch up and take all of Iran's oil. The Strait of Hormuz is the biggest fight they got going on right now, which is regarding the oil, which is regarding the maritime merchants that's going back and forth, the economies and everybody sees what's happening with the oil and the energy. He wants that back under his control. It ain't got nothing to do. Iran ain't never threatened to make no damn nuke and bomb nobody. It's a small hatch. Everybody knows. The Ben Gurion project and the Greater Israel project and all that. Everybody knows that that's what's going on. So he's lying, and now everybody's seeing it. All the nations and the EU and all of them are saying, we're not with you. And they're fleeing away. Let's stay in Psalms. Psalm 59. And let's read verse 12. It says, for the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride. That's why I said last week, all we got to do is just let him talk. He's going to bury himself. He's going to indict himself. You dig what I'm saying? It's like First 48. Everybody see First 48, man. Little dumb cats out here committing murders and crimes and all kind of stuff. And then when they go sit them down in that damn room, they get the bump in their gums. Were you in the car? Yeah, I was in the car, but I didn't do it. JJ had the gun, and JJ told me that if we was going to go get some pizza, and I didn't know that we was going to pull out the gun, and then he next you know, he robbing the white man. The white man had $500 on him. JJ told me, hold it. They immediately get the bump in their gums. Yeah, tell us some more. Yeah, don't let it all out. I want my mama. Please, sir, don't take me to jail. I'll tell you whatever. I got any information. That's what we do with Trump. As he's out here pridefully bumping his gums, we're allowing him to keep telling on himself. And the Most High and the angels are sitting back, writing everything down, saying, okay. Yeah, we got him locked down. Anything else you want to tell us? Any more lies you want to see? And why is a lie? Because you know what? Hold on. Let's look at this. Revelation 22. Oops, lucky. And Revelation 22:15. Okay, look. We'll read 14. It says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. So anybody, especially this damn wicked ass church, the churches that are proponents of saying we don't have to keep the laws are done away with, and you can still plead the blood of Jesus, and you're gonna get to the pearly gates, and you're gonna get that kingdom. That's a lie from the pit of hell. We know that. They know that, but the dumbed down preachers, man, are sitting out here hiding these facts. The Lord said, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life. Who? The ones that are doing the commandments. Because what happens if you don't have him? For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So as much as we allow him to sit back and just bump his gums and lie all damn day, this is why the Lord said he has to be judged. His kingdom has to be judged. The land has to be purified and cleansed, because guess what? He that loveth to maketh a lie has no problem being a murderer, an idolater. He's got no problem with sorcery, witchcraft, dogs, man's best friend. I mean, whoremongers. I mean, this place is full of adultery, fornication, the whole nine. It's promoted. So let's let him hang himself. Back to Psalm 59. For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride. Because what does he sit back and boast about? Oh, America's got the greatest army. We've got the greatest economy. Everything's going great. They want to make a deal. They want to make a deal. Oh, there's a lot of discord going on over there. And we've been seeing, I've been showing y'all articles and pulling it out for the last 3 weeks or more. that America is the one who's running around like chickens with their heads cut off, begging for a timeout. But no, the pride of the so-called white man, he won't let you think that. Let me finish this off. For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for cursing and lying, which they speak. Let's get another one. Job 15. And we're going to read verse 5 and 6. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity again, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. That's why he's known, or even, the so-called white man has that forked silver tongue. That's why our indigenous brethren would say white men speak with forked tongue, like a snake, a death adder, as the scriptures say, oozing poison in the ears of everyone who cares to listen and bows their ear down to his lips. Remember, the Most High said, when he speaketh fair, don't believe him, because there's 7 abominations in his heart. Even if it sounds good, sounds right, he may tell a truth. By the law and the spirit, he's got 6 more lies lined up. Because he spoke fair, but don't believe him. For the 7 abominations in his heart. I mean, he's got complete abominations lined up in his heart. It's in him. It is in him. Psalm 53 says the wicked, as soon as they be born, come out speaking lies. And thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee. So let him bump his gums. Let him speak. I love it. Even though it's frustrating, because I'll be sitting back like, who the hell does he think he's just insulting everybody's intelligence? He believes everybody's just some fools, man, and they're going to bow down to his beck and call. He thinks everybody's still sipping the Trump Kool-Aid, the orange Kool-Aid. That's out. The gig is up, man. Proverbs 18:7. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. Hello. So if we're asking about when and how and this place is going to be judged, well, look, the head got to go. But the head has led the body into a snare and trap of death and destruction. Come out of her, my people. Right? So let me go back over here. So here he's lying, talking about they want to make a deal and they got discord and all this other stuff, right? Okay. So now, even if that was true, right? He said they got no military, they've got no radar system, they got no navy. They're begging to make a deal. They've got nothing. Okay. Even if that was the truth, guess who's got their back?
What's the Matt Mahan difference? Real executive experience. As San Jose's mayor, Matt Mahan balanced the city budget, reduced crime, and built housing.
На прошлой неделе получил послание от верховного лидера Ирана.
Now, I'm gonna let it play, y'all. Trump says they've got discord going on. There's infighting going on. How is it that Putin receives a call? Last week, I got a message from the supreme leader of Iran. There doesn't sound like he's confused. His communication lines are clear. Who the supreme leader called him and said, "Oh, well, he got a message." However that was, whether it was a text, message, email, phone call, doesn't specify. However, his conversations apparently are in order.
Лидера Ирана, хочу попросить вас передать самые искренние слова благодарности за это.
Just in case y'all can't read that, and let me slow it down. I would like you to convey my most sincere words of gratitude and to confirm that Russia, same as Iran, intends to continue our strategic relations. So even if that was true, if what Trump was saying was true, they have no military, they have nothing. That doesn't mean they out the game. Because guess what? White Zaddy, big brother of Russia, has got their back, and they said, we'll hold you down. Strategically, we got you. Don't worry about it. So they're never going to be flat on their face with nothing. Why? Because the Most High said that it is Russia's job to be a guard unto Persia, and Persia is Iran. So they're obligated through the Spirit and through the sheer will of the Most High. They have to get their back. They have to support them. That's how the that's how the chessboard is laid out. So what Agent Orange is, the orangutan in chief, he's lying his butt off talking about they don't have nothing. They always got something.
Подтвердить, что Россия, так же как и Иран, намерена продолжать наши стратегические отношения. Мы видим, как мужественно и героически борется народ Ирана за свою независимость, за свой суверенитет.
What did he say? We see how courageously. Oh, hold on, went too far. Of course, we were hold on. I think it's skipping too fast. Let me back it up. Salaki, I'm gonna just go.
За свой суверенитет. Конечно, очень надеемся за свой суверенитет. Конечно, очень надеемся за свой суверенитет.
He said, we see how courageously and heroically the Iranian people are fighting for their independence and sovereignty. That doesn't sound like they're confused. Doesn't sound like they're struggling. Doesn't sound like they're destitute. Russia's sitting back and saying they're fighting an admirable fight for their independence and sovereignty against the great Satan, as Iran calls him.
Конечно, очень надеемся на то, что, опираясь вот на это мужество и стремление к независимости, иранский народ пройдет под руководством нового лидера этот сложный период испытаний и наступит мир. Со своей стороны будем делать все, что отвечает вашим интересам, отвечает интересам всех народов региона, для того, чтобы этот мир был достигнут как можно быстрее. Вы нашу позицию хорошо знаете.
از من خواسته شده که در این سفر یک بار دیگه اعلام بکنم که روابط جمهوری اسلامی ایران و فدراسیون
Iranian foreign minister, he's confirmed. He's sitting back, he's saying, yes, brother. Yeah. Thank you. I was asked to confirm during this visit that Russian-Iranian relations is a strategic partnership and will remain that way moving forward.
روسیه از نظر ما یک شراکت راهبردی هست و به همین شکل ادامه پیدا و همینطور مشخص شد که جمهوری اسلامی ایران دوستانی داره مثل روسیه که در شرایط سخت در کنار ایران میمانند و از ایران حمایت میکنند. ما از مواضع شما و از حمایت شما بسیار متشکریم.
Die Amerikaner haben offensichtlich keine Strategie.
Now, that proved Ezekiel 38, right? Now you've got the German chancellor. He's popping out. He's saying the U.S. has been humiliated. But you leave it to Agent Orange. He says Iran is the one who's humiliated and has nothing. What is he looking at and what is he watching? Who's telling him everything is under control? Because they're lying to him. And he's regurgitating lies.
Die Amerikaner haben offensichtlich keine Strategie.
The Americans apparently have no clear strategy. This is the Chancellor of Germany. He's saying that Americans in there don't know what the hell they're doing.
Strategie. Und das Problem bei solchen Konflikten ist.
Salaki, I'm going to start with this. The last time I'm going to stop. This is why NATO and the EU is saying, we're not getting involved with that. You don't even know what you're doing. That's why you calling and crying to us saying, come over here and help. They're like, hell no, you went in there with no plan. You following the small hat GMO AstroTurf dummies doing their bidding, and now you sitting back crying for help. And then when they turn it down, the 10 horns in the EU says, we're not doing that. You're on your own. What Agent Orange do? We got to call for a ceasefire. Time out. Let's regroup. Want to make a deal? After he realized he had nobody getting his back.
Immer, da muss man ja nicht nur rein, da muss man auch wieder raus. Das haben wir ganz schmerzhaft bei Afghanistan gesehen. 20 Jahre lang. Wir haben das im Irak gesehen. Also diese Geschichte ist, wie gesagt, zumindest unüberlegt. Und ich erkenne im Augenblick nicht, welchen strategischen Exit die Amerikaner jetzt wählen. Zumal die Iraner offensichtlich sehr geschickt verhandeln oder eben sehr geschickt nicht verhandeln. Und die Amerikaner dann nach Islamabad reisen lassen und ohne Ergebnis wieder abreisen lassen. Da wird eine ganze Nation gedemütigt durch die iranische Staatsführung, vor allem durch diese sogenannten Revolutionsgarden.
He said by Iran's leadership and their Revolutionary Guard is humiliating America. And that German tongue, boy, I know there's all kind of saliva and spit on that damn mic. Good Lord. But there you go. So the nations are watching this and they say America is in too deep. They don't know what they're doing. They want to drag us in there. And recently after the America said this, Trump just pulled 5,000 troops out of Germany. Why? Hold on. He just pulled 5,000 troops out of Germany. Let me get that up because I sure missed that one. Oops. I'm gonna get it right one time. Shoot, my typing is off. Yeah, see that? There you go, the same cat. Trump administration is pulling 5,000 troops from Germany. So now you see even more of the divide when it comes down to, American and German relations. So this all goes in alignment with the 10 horns, hating the whore and all of that. U.S. is withdrawing 5,000 troops from Germany in the next 6 to 12 months. All right. Wonder where they're going to go. Wonder where they're going to get deployed to. As they take securities away from Germany now. Okay. So, since they're all confused over there in Iran and they have no military and they have nothing left, let's let the supreme leader, via report, give his response. Iran's supreme leader vows to protect nuclear and missile capabilities. This just dropped yesterday. So it doesn't sound like they want to make a deal. A damn lie. They not asking for no deal. They're standing on 10 toes and they saying, listen, we are vowing to protect our nuclear and missile capabilities. Sounds like they want to be able to have the right to make a nuke. Okay. And that's the red line that Agent Orange says is a no-go.
What's the Matt Mahan difference? Real executive experience. As San Jose's mayor, Matt Mahan balanced the city budget, reduced crime, and built housing. He's not from Washington, not from Wall Street. He's a mailman's son who knows California has become too expensive. He'll suspend the gas tax, overhaul state government, and turn billions in wasted money into effective investments in healthcare, housing, and schools. Democratic values, effective experience. That's the Matt Mahan difference.
Iran Supreme Leader says the country will protect its nuclear and missile capabilities as President Trump tries to make a deal. He also said the only place Americans...
who did he say was trying to make a deal? Iran?
Iran Supreme Leader says the country will protect its nuclear and missile capabilities as President Trump tries to make a deal. He also said the only place Americans belong in Persian Gulf is, quote, at the bottom of the water.
Oh. Uh-oh. Does it sound like Iran is desperate? They want to make a deal? When you're out here woofing, you telling them the only place the U.S. ships belong in the Persian Gulf is at the bottom of the sea? Meaning you have no business over there? And their intentions is to sink every little ship that you got? Whether or not they can do that, that's a whole nother thing. But right now, they talking big stuff. And they said they're vowing. And we know, according to the scriptures, how important a vow is. That they're going to protect their nuclear missile capabilities. Okay.
The only place Americans belong in Persian Gulf is, quote, at the bottom of the water. It comes as a U.S. aircraft carrier has been sent to help in the war. It's reportedly set to leave the region. Negotiations with Iran have stalled, but President Trump says all Iran has to do is give up its nuclear ambitions, and this will end the conflict.
They have to cry uncle. That's all they have to do. Just say, we give up.
Does that sound like the Iranians is ready to do that? To bow down, kiss the ring, give up, cry uncle? Can we stop playing games talking about the negotiations and the peace talks and the ceasefires and it's indefinite and we're working on a deal and that? You hear the terms. It's clear no's on both sides. So what are we waiting on?
And Axios is reporting the Pentagon may be briefed that the White House now has some new military operations. We'll keep you posted if that meeting happens. Well, in the meantime, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing another round of questions on Capitol Hill today. His trip to the Capitol comes amid a push for another $1.5 trillion in defense funding. The Pentagon said
another $1.6 trillion. They said the war already is cost over $20 billion. And it hasn't even been 2 months yet. And they're already panhandling, begging for more war funds and war taxes to finance the war. He was in this congressional hearing, man. They was flaming him up the other day.
Comes amid a push for another $1.5 trillion in defense funding.
1.5.
The Pentagon says the 9-week-long war with Iran has already cost $25 billion.
$25 billion in 9 weeks. Can you imagine where that money could have went to? If Esau wasn't so hell-bent on coveting, death, destruction, lies, murder, mayhem. $25 billion in 9 weeks they came up with. And now they're going back, doubling back, saying we need another 1.5 trillion. That doesn't sound like peace is anywhere near on the table.
Iran Supreme.
Now, hold it.
Iran Supreme Leader says the country will protect.
I thought I had a video on here. Maybe I didn't put it on here. 60-day War Powers Act. So, let me see what they pull up. The War Powers Resolution requires the president. Okay, look. The War Powers Resolution requires a president to terminate military operations within 60 days unless Congress authorizes the action or declares war. Now do you see why they had to come back and say we need a ceasefire? It's indefinite. He just went on record saying that the military actions in the Middle East has been terminated. He doesn't mean that the war is over. Doesn't mean that they're stopping. He knows that he's approaching that 60-day marker. And he can't continue the war unless Congress authorizes and approves it. And he knows Congress doesn't have his back right now. So he's stalling for time, which that should let you know. Now, I'm just speaking as a man and in the spirit. If he has to force them to vote in his favor, that means something has to go down that Congress can't say no, i.e., a black swan, false flag. Something's got to go down so that when this 60 days, because right now they said that that Congress is off. I don't know, they're on vacation. I don't know what they're doing. They're off until May 11th. So they pause. Pete Hegseth said, "Oh, well, it's a pause on the 60 days until then, and then we're going to continue on after that." And one of the senators in there was like, nobody's going to stand behind that. You know, the time is going to continually tick. Once that 60 days is up, it's over with. The U.S. got to back down, get up out of there, or they got to go to Congress and say, look, we need to declare war. This ain't over. We got to get busy. So that's going to be real telling. If Congress stands behind them and says, okay, let's go. So let's not get it twisted. When people, a lot of people out there thinking, oh, the ceasefire, that's progress. Yeah, no. That's the U.S. having to make that pause. They have to by law, constitutionally. They can't go no further. See that? President must terminate military operations within 60 days. Hold on. Let me get it one more tab open. See, look at this. Just today, Trump tells Congress the Iran war has terminated. War is terminated. So that doesn't mean, oh, it's over. No, he had to do that by law and by the Constitution. He had to say, well, we're terminating any actions. 60 days, right? President must terminate military operation within 60 days of notifying Congress unless Congress authorizes the action or declares war. Notification requirement. The president is required to notify Congress within 48 hours committing armed forces to military action. Withdrawal period. If Congress does not authorize a military action, the president has an additional 30 days to withdraw forces. So that's why I say something interesting may happen between now and the next week or two that's going to force Congress to make a decision. They're either going to have to say, we can't let them get away with that. They tried to do this. They blew up that. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when you hear about this, now, granted, this, surprisingly, it was a damn Jake, did this fake, assassination attempt at the that media dinner that they had earlier in the week. I'm surprised he didn't say Allahu Akbar or say any foolishness like that, because that would have been prime to say, look, they just sent a sleeper cell over here. They tried to assassinate the president. We got to go to war. I was expecting that to pop out, but he was on some Epstein stuff or whatever, according to his so-called manifesto. They always got to leave a love you note. I mean, the game, and the games they playing is so played out, it's not even funny. So once this time is up, 60 days, if Congress turns it down, they got 30 days to get up out of there. That means America's going to face the most embarrassing loss in the shortest amount of time ever. So do you think that he's going to sit back and allow them to make him tuck his tail? That's why he was already putting out here. He's already lobbying, saying it's treason. Oh, if Congress doesn't approve it, it's treasonous. Which, who knows? If there's an executive order that he can override Congress and keep it going, that might be in play. I'm not sure if that's possible. But ceasefire is what he's got going on, right? Now, in the meantime, so that's what's happening with this war right now. So the next couple of weeks is going to be pretty critical. Congress gets back to work on May 11th. They've got some deciding to do. I'm not exactly sure when the 60 days is up. Maybe we can find that out. So we can mark that down. Oh, today. Whoops. Okay. So today, right? So now, yeah, you're right, Kohab. Today. So when Congress gets back on the 11th, so we know there ain't gonna be nothing cracking until the 11th. And Congress come back, they're gonna have to make a decision. And from the 11th, if they say nope, we're not going to war, get up out of there. The U.S. got to pack up and get ghosts by the end of June. Or there could be some false flag, some black swan, something goes down between now and the 11th, or even after the 11th, that says we got to go to war because look what they did. Flashbacks of 9/11, flashbacks of, random, mass shootings, synagogue bombings, who knows? That could force their hand and say, well, we got to go all in on this. Only a couple of options is going to happen, but we're going to see. We're going to see. Meanwhile, Mayday, there was a mass protest today. Thousands in the U.S. to join no school, no work, no shopping protest, and economic blackout. People trying to, listen. As we know, the scriptures speak about the uproars of the people. People have had enough, man. Pressure bust pipes, energy, food, gas, taxes, water. Half the country's in a drought right now. The Colorado River is drying up. Water scarcity is on deck. I just did a quick little short. Went to a grocery store I used to frequent all the time when I lived in Inglewood. And I heard it'd been closed down. It's been shut down for about a good month or more. But the fact that they're creating food scarcities in the hood, closing whole grocery stores, should tell you something. 2 Ezra 9, verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and we've been hearing about massive earthquake activity going on all over the world, seismic activity happening all over at a great rate, and volcano activity. So it says, when you see all these things, and what else? Uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So we clearly see this no work, no school, economic blackout protest that people was trying to, get cracking today. With, little success because, everybody's not willing to make these particular moves, but, they tried. Thousands are set to join the economic blackout for International Workers' Day on Friday as part of the 3,500 May Day Strong events across the country. Organizers are calling for a, quote, no school, no work, no shopping, for walkouts, marches, block parties, and other gatherings planned into the evening. I rolled around the city a little bit today after I got off work. I didn't see no block parties. I ain't see no walkouts. I ain't see no marches. Because people can't afford to be just walking off and saying, I ain't working today. The kids ain't going to school any damn way. So there ain't nothing changed with them. Walkouts, march, I didn't see none of that. Let me know if in y'all cities, did y'all see any of this activity jump off? I mean, they had 3,500 people, so scattered throughout the country. Good luck with that. But nonetheless, people are still organizing. People are still upset and in an uproar. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what the Lord said was going to be happening in these days and times. Now look at this. Trump rejects Iran offer. Prepares shortwave strikes as oil prices soar and congressional GOP members are restless. He's been talking about once that talk failed last Sabbath. He was like, okay, well, we got to get some shortwave strikes jumping off. We got to get going, right? So as of right now, it's on the table for them to have some shortwave strikes, but he's got to get approval first now. He had time between last week and today. Well, last weekend and today, but he didn't pull the trigger because, somebody ran up in his little dinner, didn't make it to the floor that he was on. Listen, we'll get to all that in a minute. But he's talking about Iran better get their act together, and we're gonna either blow them the hell up or they're gonna have to come make a deal. He's been talking real spicy. But as of yet, all the cards is in Iran's hands from everything we can see. We just seen Germany's MERS, say that Iran's is being humiliated. So we're not going to read this one. But look at this. Israel's president is putting off a decision on pardon for Netanyahu, will push for a plea deal. Remember, he's still on trial for corruption, war crimes, and etc. So now the president of the small hats is saying that he's gonna put off a decision on the pardon. He didn't say he's ruling out, but he wants him to cop out and plea first. That ain't going on. That's why it's been quiet over there too. Even though there's still activity going on between them and Lebanon. Gaza's pretty much a ghost town now because they done bombed the hell out of them and all the hospitals and the refugee camps and the schools and everything else. But this is why they need that ceasefire to jump off, because the head demon in charge is sitting in court facing corruption charges. But the president has already said that I'm going to hold off on a decision for a pardon just yet. Letting it be known that that's on the table. Or maybe we can get them to cop a plea. President Isaac Herzog of Israel had decided not to issue a pardon to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in his corruption case at this time, and instead will seek mediation. I mean, how much proof do you need, man? He's got a laundry list of corruption and lies and distortions and murder and genocide on his jacket. But I digress. For months, President Isaac Herzog of Israel has deliberated over the politically fraught question of whether to grant Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a pardon in his long-running corruption trial. It's a highly contentious issue that has divided Israelis and drawn pressure from President Trump, who has aggressively intervened on Mr. Netanyahu's behalf. Isn't that nice? But Herzog does not plan to give Netanyahu a pardon anytime soon. Instead, he will first try to initiate a mediation process to reach a plea deal. Do you see that? The first thing he's being pressured to pardon him. And to save face, he's like, let me just see if we can get mediation to reach a plea deal, which is pretty much going to be a slap on the wrist and let him get back to his evil. A pardon will clear him of everything and let him get right back to business. According to two senior Israeli officials with direct knowledge of Mr. Herzog's thinking, the corruption is out of control. I mean, they live by corruption. So how do you expect a corrupt country, nation, to prosecute the prime minister of corruption? I mean, come on. Is Satan casting out Satan now? We'll see. Meanwhile, while everything's going on in the Middle East, the kings of the East, Russia and North Korea, a couple of the kings, they sit back making deals on the low, which is a direct threat to America. North Korea, Russia agreed to, quote, long-term military cooperation. Uh-oh. Revelation 16 tells you that the kings of the East men is making way for warfare. Russia's defense minister and the chairman of the State Duma are both visiting North Korea. One helped inaugurate a memorial to North Korean soldiers killed fighting Ukraine. The other hashed out a new defense deal. Two senior Russian politicians visited North Korea over the weekend, inaugurating the memorial to North Korean troops who died fighting against Ukraine and negotiating a new defense cooperation agreement set to run until 2031. So they got an agreement already lined up for the next 5 years. Two countries' military, political, and economic cooperation has intensified amid Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, with Pyongyang offering military support to Moscow, not least to push Ukrainian forces back from the Russian border region in Kursk. Now, both countries, armed with nukes, going to have an alliance and military cooperation for the next 5 years, all the way to 2031. We've been hearing so much about everything coming to a halt or to a major change by 2030. Agenda 2030, they talking about. You got the Olympics in 2028. China still has said that, they intend on making Taiwan to bow down next year, or they going to take them to war. It's going to be a whole lot of activity going on in the next couple of years. Hell, in the next 6 months, if we keep it real. Let's continue on. The U.S. military was losing its edge after Iran, and everyone knows it. Okay, so the quiet part out loud, everybody sees it, everybody knows it. The U.S. now is being looked at as a paper tiger, man. You spent $25 billion in 9 weeks trying to fight Iran. Iran is like, we're vowing we're not going down without a fight. We're here till it's all said and done. You're gonna have to take it back in blood. All the proverbial slang terms, whatever you want to say, they ain't going nowhere, man. And only thing they can do is have the media and the talking heads and let Agent Orange go out there and lie to everybody and say everything's under control, when it's nothing further from the truth. On paper, the war in Iran should not be much of a contest. The United States spends around $1 trillion a year on its military, more than 100 times as much as Iran. That money buys a vastly larger air force and navy, as well as advanced weapons technologies that Iranian generals can only dream about. In the war's early days, the mismatch played out as one might expect. American forces destroyed much of the Iranian military. Now, don't get me wrong. Iran was scrapped to the end. However, America does have a superior military and technology. Remember, Esau is blessed with the sword, not Iran. So if America really wanted to push the panic button and really wanted to get busy, America could cause some real problems for Iran. Now, like I said, Iran ain't no punk. They'll go down swinging. But when it comes down to weapon for weapon, the fact that America is at least number 2 in the world with nuclear power, missiles and submarines and so forth, that automatically gives them the edge over Iran. But why is it that these smaller countries, man, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iran, Kuwait, they fight tooth and nail with America and make them get out. And eventually America just folds up and runs. Took them 20 plus years, man, to say, you know what? We ain't getting nowhere with this thing in Afghanistan, man. Let's get the hell out of here. Give it back to the damn give it back to ISIS and let them run it. As soon as they did, man, that place got turned out, overran and destroyed. So they say, hey, on paper, it's supposed to be easy. But it says now, however, the contest looks less one-sided. Iran is taking control of the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, I thought America had control. Oh, okay. And its missiles and drones still threaten America's allies in the regions. While President Trump, I thought they didn't have no radar. Oh, okay. While President Trump seems eager for a negotiated truce. Oh, that didn't say, the president of Iran didn't say the Ayatollah seems eager for a negotiated truce. Orangutan man, he says he wants the truth. Iran's leaders do not. Somehow the weaker nation is in the stronger negotiating position. That reality exposes the vulnerabilities in the American way of war. Tactical success has not yielded victory. Mr. Trump's recklessness in conducting the war is one reason, but the problem is bigger than any single commander-in-chief. The United States has left itself unprepared for modern war. And that's what the German chancellor said. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a plan. Also, while that's going on, and I covered this, give or take, a couple months back, about the FISA law and the warrantless spying on Americans. Now, remember, it was subject to the monitoring of emails, phone, text, and everything else from non-American citizens. However, if those non-citizens have talks with or connections to Americans, guess what? That opens up the Americans to being spied on and tapped into. So for example, if we got brothers in, let's just put out a country. There's a couple brothers that's in. I'm trying to think of a country that's realistic. Just whatever. Got some brothers in Afghanistan. Part of the scattered, whatever, and we're in contact with them. America can warrantlessly tap, trace, track all communications between me and them under the FISA Act. And now the orangutan says he wants to extend it for another 18 months. It's supposed to be up. So surveillance now has been extended. The police state, Big Brother, all that, and people, that ain't for all Americans. That's just for people that's not citizens. Wasn't the whole immigration thing dealing with, it was for the illegal aliens and all that. And then how much sooner were we hearing about legitimate American citizens being harassed, detained, getting beat up, getting shot, getting their cars rammed into? See how that works? It extends out to you, me, we, and everybody else. The excuse is, it's the foreign, but we got to watch you because you got connections and you talk to people outside of the country that we don't like. Remember all them countries that Trump restricted their visas and their ability to visit the U.S. now? There's a whole big old list of countries that he's deemed. Let me see. Yeah, the travel ban. Okay, now look at this. 39 countries, right? So if you got, I've known brothers who do contracting work that live and have lived in Afghanistan during the 9/11 times and all of that, doing fiber optics and other stuff, right? Now, if I'm in contact and talking with them, under FISA, they could monitor them calls and our communications. And do you think that they would just stop at just me and him or our conversations, or will they extend it to anybody and everybody else I'm in contact with? Because they're going to say, well, if he's in contact with him, we might have to watch and listen to everybody else that he's talking to. You dig what I'm saying? Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Chad, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Myanmar, Somalia, South Sudan, Syria, Yemen, Palestinian authorities, Angola, Antigua. I mean, look, Cuba, Dominica, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal. I mean, look, Venezuela, Sierra Leone. All of these are countries that now, under the FISA Act, they can be sitting back monitoring you. Hold on. Oh, I'm spoiling it. Here we go. April 30th. Trump signed a legislation extending the Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, allowing the warrantless surveillance of non-citizens located outside the U.S., which also captures American data. Did you hear that? Also captures American data. Despite previously criticizing Pfizer for spying on his 2016 campaign, there you go. See, he was saying, back in his 2016 campaign, that he was talking about Pfizer was wrong and he was against Pfizer and he didn't want spying on American citizens and that was violating their rights. How things have changed in the last 10 years. Now he's supporting a renewal for 18 months, arguing it's crucial for national security. Right. Anything else on here worth reading? No, I'm gonna leave that. Right. So let's move on. So while the war, that's why there's all these distractions. While you're looking one way, they're over here signing different bills on the other end. They're overturning this. And we're so caught up looking at the NBA playoffs and looking at the latest Hollywood gossip about whoever, who's dating who and what. And if that ain't enough, you're worried about how you're going to pay them bills, worried about holding on to your job, you're worried about how much more is gas going to go up. So we're getting bombarded with distraction after distraction, disinformation, misinformation here, there, Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, flipping and screen time, lockdown. I mean, and they're over here craftily signing here, signing there, initial here. Oh yeah, this is on the deck now. The next thing you know, we're saying, when did that pass? How the hell how did they get away with this? Now they've extended warrantless surveillance on non-citizens located outside the U.S. We just got to reading a whole list of different countries that this qualifies for. And it could capture American data as well. So people wondering about the surveillance state, Big Brother and all that. I mean, it's already in effect, man. It's already in effect. I mean, they already got the damn phones listening to us anyway. Tracking your cookies, your web searches, listening to your conversations, compromising every little web search you do. Yeah, they putting up ads every minute that on your videos and social media. Bots is out here tracking and tracing your comments and everything you're saying, everything you're liking, you're posting, saying, okay, we're tracking his behavior and her behavioral patterns. What is she like? What is he like? What are they doing? What are they eating? I mean, it's already here, man. Unreal. So let's talk a little bit about this assassination attempt that they're saying. Now, put a 7 in the chat, man. If y'all believe that that was legitimate, man. Agent Orange, man. J.D. Vance, Dana White, all of them, they had to get rushed up out of there, man. Get out of there. Active shooter, come on. Third time's a charm. I guess not. So check this out. So I know y'all seen and heard the whole hype. First of all, they said that the man came from California to Chicago to New York, had a shotgun, a pistol, and some more stuff on him. How is he traveling on the Greyhound or wherever with this on it? I don't know. When you see the video of him running, they said he had a gauge on him. I ain't never seen nobody run that fast with a shotgun on him, if I understood the story correctly. They said that he let off a shot. Then they said he didn't shoot. Then they was talking about he was dead. Initially, they said they put him down. Then they said, "Oh no, we captured him. Oh, he ran through. He got off a shot. He hit a Secret Service agent, but the bulletproof vest stopped him immediately under an active investigation." Trump is immediately on Truth Social, posting pictures and talking about what happened and all this other stuff. An active investigation, you putting that information out, you could jeopardize the legal case by putting information out there that's not supposed to be readily available to the public. This ain't adding up, okay? Now, mind you, first Trump said that he had a bulletproof vest on, and that the agent that got shot didn't release his name. They ain't say nothing, but they was quick to releasing the pictures of the alleged shooter and all of that. But we ain't seen the Secret Service agent yet who got hit. Come to find out, it was a cell phone that stopped the bullet, and along with the vest. What movie was that? Was it White House Down or one of them movies that somebody got shot and the damn cell phone protected them? I can't remember what. If you remember, anybody remembers, I remember there being I think it was White House Down or Olympus Has Fallen, one of them movies where the president or somebody got shot and the cell phone blocked it. If anybody remembers the movie that I'm speaking of, put it in the chat. Baba Shah, please, por favor. I'm trying to think about it. Anyway, Secret Service officer saved after a phone stops the bullet at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The officer was released from the hospital earlier today, and no one else was seriously injured after the attacker was apprehended quickly. It might have been Jamie Foxx. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember the one that Jamie Foxx was the president and he was wearing the Jordans and the Edomite was protecting him. I don't remember what the name of that one was. But you know what? Let's see if the crystal ball will tell us. That was the name of it, Vantage Point. The Deliverance features a scene where a character is saved when a bullet hits their phone. What's the Deliverance? I don't remember that. They say the Deliverance. I don't remember that one. Deliverance. Let me see if this rings a bell. Nah, that ain't it. They said that thing is from 1972. I ain't got no damn cell phones. Anyway, it may have been. Let me see. Vantage Point. And then we're gonna move on after this if this ain't it. Attempted assassinate the American president is told and retold from several different perspectives. It might be it. It might be it. I can't recall. But anyway, I just remember. I know that there was some movie that had a scene that somebody got shot and the cell phone saved them. But anyway, so now getting back to the story, so video footage captures the moment a gunman charged a Secret Service magnetometer screening area in the hotel lobby. He discharged at least one shot, hitting a Secret Service agent's bulletproof vest. Remarkably, according to a law enforcement summary report seen by The Atlantic, the bullet was stopped in part by the officer's mobile phone. Isn't that nice? Okay, so let's look at after the aftermath and everything starts to surface. What do we know? Allen was taken down by agents shortly after after rushing past them and before descending stairs and entering a ballroom where Trump and other top administration officials were seated. But it remains unclear whether he fired shots before his arrest. So they don't know. Have you seen footage of the ballroom where they was in there partying and hanging out? You could hear the shots going off. Nobody reacted. Now, it could be because it was too loud and people weren't, paying attention and, drinks was flowing. As soon as they rushed the stage, telling them take cover, get out of here, and all that other stuff. And Hegseth and the rest of these guys was talking crazy. You had Carolyn Levitt. I have the video, but I didn't put it on here. Guess I can find it real quick. She says, "Oh, we can't wait. Shots are going to be fired tonight." I know y'all seen that, but for those that didn't see it, she said Trump is going to have some big words. Carolyn, damn it. Here we go.
And you are, as you know, this man is ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight.
Oh, what'd you say, honey? What'd you say? There's going to be some shots fired tonight? Interesting.
It'll be classic Donald J. Trump.
Classic Donald J. Trump. WWE Trump. Vince McMahon Trump. That classic Trump. There was even footage after the whole little, scatter scene with the shooting and all that. There was a couple of little agents in there that was jumping up talking about USA, USA. Like, they didn't get the memo that the narrative wasn't put out yet. So immediately they were talking USA. That's why I said that would have been the perfect, false flag to say that a sleeper cell tried to get in and assassinate the president. Because why else are you jumping out there yelling USA, USA, as if a foreign entity tried to attack the U.S.? Now I don't have that. I don't have that video, but I seen it. USA, and wasn't nobody echoing that. They tried to get it cracking, and nobody was listening. Everybody was like, "Get the hell out of here, man! We're trying to get up out the way." And then somebody else tried it after that.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I'm so sure. I'm so sure. Hold on. So, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, here goes. They got the hotels. I haven't seen these, but anyway, yeah, there's plenty of videos on it. I'm sure y'all can double back and go see. Draw your own conclusions on that. But look, getting back on and okay, so first of all, he didn't get anywhere near the ballroom. It said that he was in the lobby on the wrong floor. They got him. Supposedly let off a shot, hit an agent, and the agent's cell phone stopped the, along with the vest, stopped the bullet. All right. But let's read a little bit more about the wounded agent. A Secret Service officer, quote, was shot once in the chest, according to the federal filing against Allen. Against Allen, right? Now watch. That officer then, quote, drew his service weapon and fired multiple times at Allen, who fell to the ground and suffered minor injuries, but was not shot. What was the minor injury? He scraped his knee? I mean, what happened? Okay, so let's continue. The officer was later treated at the hospital for minor injuries. Asked why there was no allegation Allen fired a round at the officer. Asked why there was no allegation Allen fired a round at the officer. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche said the investigation is still in the preliminary stage with ballistics testings to be done. We want to get that right, so we're looking at that, Blanche said at a news conference. So did he shoot or didn't he? The narrative is that he shot. Now they're saying, well, we're doing ballistic tests. We want to make sure we get it right. Right now, there's no allegation that Allen fired a round at the officer. Huh? What is going on? They had already said he shot him, the cell phone stopped it, the vest, and this, that, and the third. And now they're saying, oh, well, we don't have proof that he actually fired a shot. We got to do ballistic testing on that. It could have been friendly fire. One of his own hit him. Again, when I seen him running, I didn't see no damn shotgun in his hand, but he was moving pretty fast. I ain't seen nobody run that fast with a gauge in the hand, but maybe it's possible. But anyway, so there's confusion regarding did he let off a shot or didn't he? Now look at this. As far as getting into exact ballistics, I'm not going to do that today because it's still being looked at and finalized. USA Today reported that witnesses told investigators that Allen fired on the agent. So who are these witnesses? The Rambling Manifesto. There's always a man. Why are they always leaving damn notes? Why is that always the status quo for somebody getting ready to go do a damn mass shooting? They always want to leave you a love note behind. Come on, man. Believe that if you want to. And this guy lived in Torrance. Torrance is 15 minutes from me, which is wild. And he's a damn Jake. He got a little swirl in him. I believe his mama was Esau. His pops is a Jake. He's an educator, engineer, all kind of stuff, man. Highly intelligent, and somehow he just decided to hold all of this in and said he's going to go try to take out Agent Orange because he's been protecting pedophiles and rapists and everybody else. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. If you believe that. Let's continue on. Now, just look at this picture. First of all, they're giving him some old cheap emergency blanket, right? Look at his face. Look how dark his face is. And then look at the body looking like a damn white man. Does that look like this picture has been doctored or AI driven or Photoshop? Like they put a face on his body? Tell me I'm tripping, y'all. I mean, it is 9:30 on the West Coast. Has been a long day today. But I got this 3 days ago. Look at this picture, y'all. Am I tripping? Look at how dark his face is. Like they put makeup on him or something. And the rest of his body looking like a damn Edomite. What the hell is going on? Yeah, you're right, Brian. Chicken's not done. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he looking like maybe he got vitiligo. Look at the cheek over here. You see that white spot right there? Is that where the makeup didn't get put on? Or is this vitiligo? What is this? Body looking like a straight frail Edomite. And he got all kind of damn Hollywood makeup on, man. I mean, what is going on? Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Emotionless suspected Trump gunman Cole Allen appears in court as he's charged with attempted assassination. I mean, just the picture alone. So this don't look real to me. But I'm not saying the dude's not real, whatever. But this picture don't look like it's authentic. I digress. Immediately, Agent Orange jumped out and said, "Hey, this is the reason why they need the ballroom to get done." You know, he's been getting a lot of blowback from that ballroom. People saying he's out here, recklessly spending on this ballroom. First thing he said, yeah, this is the reason why we need the ballroom. It's going to be so fabulous. It's going to be impenetrable, blah, blah, blah. So a $400 million ballroom he's defending as to why they need it. Looking for a sympathy vote from, his fellow politicians because them primaries is coming up in November. And it's not looking good for him. Needs some more motivation to, get the war going. I mean, there's multiple different reasons why you can see that this could have been a false flag that was being set up. So reasonings you can see, right? Now, let's continue to the real deal. Are we talking about Jim Crow and all that? Many of y'all have seen or heard about this going on. And now you see that it's real. Supreme Court voids majority black congressional district in Louisiana, boosting Republican chances. So they're already on the move to swipe the November primaries by restricting black vote, Hispanic votes, redistricting areas in Louisiana. Again, they talking about Florida, they talking about Mississippi, right? So he's trying to corner the market and restricting and regulating the black and Latino vote. This is why we've been saying forever and a day, blacks and Hispanics, you ain't got no power of the vote. Your votes don't count, and you shouldn't even be merging and trying to cooperate with the system anyway. Now our people can finally see what we've been saying all along. This isn't to defend the black vote. This ain't, the Jim Crow era, the segregation era. Back during the Jim Crow laws, man, they was making Jakes take aptitude tests, poll taxes, and all kind of stuff to make sure that they couldn't vote. That's the whole era with the segregated bathrooms and everything else. The whole point of the Jim Crow thing was dealing with the voting. You finally get the Civil Rights Act passed in the 60s. Well, now you got particular districts that's predominantly black or Hispanic, whatever, and you can vote somebody in to represent you. Now they're saying, "Oh, we're not doing that because the white man says that's segregation, that's racist, That's not fair. Hold on. You the ones that put the law in effect so that it could be fair. Because blacks wasn't being represented and didn't even have the damn right to vote. Remember last week when we talked about the SPLC and them funding white terrorism and domestic terrorism and neo-Nazi groups, and I mean, that's the whole scam. The very same thing that they are supposedly trying to fight or trying to expose or trying to limit, they're funding it. So they're creating the problem, and then they're going back saying, look, the problem's out of control. We need more money so we can help try to stop this. The money's getting funneled right back into these damn racist groups. And then they double back and say, now, these black Israelites and anybody, they're just like the ones we're funding. Huh? How backwards is that? But this is the place we live in, man. This is the corrupt place that we've been trying to tell our people for the longest, man. This is not your rest. This is not your place that you should be trying to support and be standing on. You're wrapping yourself in this flag and everything else, man. This place is corrupt, wicked, and it will destroy you with a sword of destruction, like Micah tells us. And now people sit back saying, this is setting us back 60 years. And how can white folk, how they gonna do this? Republicans did this. Now the black vote, we gotta stop this. Massa. It's too late for that. We've been telling you Negroes, man, stop trying to vote anyway. Deuteronomy 17, 14, 15. Well, now I come unto the land which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, and shalt possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me. So, number one, only time you're supposed to be trying to elect or get anybody that's over you as a king was when what? We're in the land that the Lord gives us, and we're in possession of it, and we're dwelling there. We're not in our land. We didn't receive no inheritances from the Most High with America and all of that. And that automatically defaults us from trying to set a king or any type of prince or ruler or magistrate over us. That's out. Now it says, like, as all the nations that are about me, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. So our people should not be running to the primary saying, we got to get him, we got to get the house back. We got to vote Democrat. No. No. Old boss, same as the new boss. Still had inflation under Agent Slow Biden. It's even worse with Trump. Right? Economy shot under Slow Biden. It's worse with Trump. Wars jumping on Slow Biden punked out. He got up out of Afghanistan, still found domestic violence and all kind of stuff going. It ain't no different, man. Same way he was talking about, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Remember Slow Biden was campaigning that? Hillary Clinton saying, vote for me because I got hot sauce in my purse. Obama saying, yes, we can. And next thing you know, no, you can't, because everything he was saying, yes, we can, was for the LGBTQ plus HIV community. Granted them the right to get married and all kind of rights for them and progressions for them. And guess what? Black folks got left in the dust. So let's continue. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee, that thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So we are restricted from having any rulership of the other nations over us. Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. None, ne'er one. None. Yeah, that's right, Oscar. Yeah, Newsom saying he's just like us because he scored low on the SATs. And he's low aptitude. Another damn slap in the face of a nigga. Niggas love to be disrespected, man, and their intelligence being insulted, and you sit right back and say, well, I gotta vote him in. He's a good guy. There is no choosing the lesser of two evils and all of that. Forget about it, man. And now they crying all the way to the damn voting booths, and anybody will listen. Civil Rights Act, man, they stepping on our toes. where blood was shed, and we marched and got locked up for this, and Dr. King. And we've been sitting back and saying, hey, look, Jeremiah 23 says that the Dr. King was a false prophet that claimed he had received dreams from the Most High, which was a lie. And then after he realized what he did, he came clean and said, man, he felt like he led our people into a burning building. I mean, a burning home. And he regretted and had to repent of it. Psalm 94:20, shout, the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a log. That's exactly what they do. They set our people in high hopes, got our people thinking that we're on equal standings and we got grounds of stuff. No. They're just now pulling their cards because guess what? They've got a president that's sitting in office right now who said we're going to make America white again, getting rid of all these damn dirty, stinking illegals. We've been empowering the SPLC to go out here and strengthening all the damn white supremacist groups. We're weakening the power and the voting rights of the blacks and Hispanics now, so they can't do nothing about me maintaining power. He's been teasing, talking about he's going to go for a third term, even though that's constitutionally illegal. He can't do that. But he's trolling. Look, Daniel 8:24 says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper and practice and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. This was prophesied about King Antiochus of the Greeks of the Seleucid Empire. And this is what he did. This is where we get the history about, dedication and the rulership and the reign after the death of Alexander the Freak, the 4 generals or whatnot. Right? So this is what he did. Antiochus, Epiphanes, verse 25. And through his what policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. What's the craft means? Deception, subtlety, deceit. And we see Agent Orange doing nothing but that. And what? By his wicked policies that's getting lined up. FISA Act, extending that another 18 months. These border patrols, and he just signed another deal for the DHS to get some more money so the ICE can get right back to business again. Those been quiet because they ain't been getting them paychecks. And now they got TSA back on deck and they getting their money, and Homeland Security getting their money. He just signed a deal now. So we're about to see some more stuff get turned back up over here on the homeland. See, it says, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. They want to make a deal. They want peace. Meanwhile, he's dropping bombs, schools, hospitals, refugee encampments, you name it. Raiding and destroying and kidnapping presidential leaders, threatening others in Cuba and in Honduras, Ecuador, Colombia, telling them they next. Got caught running black ops down there in Mexico. 2 damn CIA agents crashed running off a hill. They're under investigation. Look, this is what he's doing in the spirit of his ancestors. He shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Yeah, because Antiochus ended up dying from illness. We wasn't killed in war or any of that. His body started rotting on him. That might be how Agent Orange goes out, man. Who knows? Let me get one more. Actually, let me get 2 more. Isaiah 30:9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. Ain't that the truth when you're talking about the children of Israel? Would say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. Yeah, they rather have what's her name? I keep wanting to call her Paula Jones, but Paula what's Trump's spiritual advisor's name? Paula what the hell's her name? Yeah, Paula White. How can I forget White? Paula White came. Remember she was talking about, man, I'm not leaving until you give me $100,000. Doing her fake black preacher impression, speaking in tongues and saying he's the savior. You know, so all of the folly, man, that's going on. Our people, and they were the black folks was on the stage with her, doing their thing. Prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy to cease. Our people want to hear lies. You want to hear everything's gonna be all right. You want to hear Iran wants to make a deal. You want to hear all this other foolishness, man. You want to hear that LeBron's gonna get to the NBA championship shit. Everything but the right thing. Nobody likes the truth because the lie is more entertaining, man. Nobody wants to drive safe because the crash is more, attention getting. There's a reason why when you're speaking wholesome and righteous and things that don't go viral. People want to see the arguments, the fights. They want to see the drama. They want to see the tea getting spilled. They want the rumor. They want That's what people are paying for. That's what people are watching for. Even within the Israelite community, we're all victims of it. The street teaching, the debates, all that gets way more views, way more viral moments than a brother sitting behind a desk talking about the fruits of the Spirit and following after the ways of Yahushua and be perfect as I'm perfect, like Christ told us, and learning those particular principles. Don't nobody want to hear that. They want to hear Israelite, versus a dumbed down Christian gets his head cut off in the verbal combat and a cold AI, thumbnail. Jake immediately I gotta see that. If a brother says, learn how to, exercise wisdom in your daily life according to the Bible, I don't want to hear that. They want smooth things, prophesy deceits, get you out of the way, turn aside out the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. You don't want the Holy One of Israel. You want Allah, you want Buddha, you want Confucius, you want you want your own little spiritual advisor. You want Tony Robbins, self-esteem, pick me up tapes and recordings and streamings and all that. You don't want the Holy One of Israel. Now watch. Wherefore, thus said the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. There's still black folks running around here talking about, we ain't done. We're gonna take this to. We gotta keep fighting, y'all. I mean, it's not looking good, but we might be able to pull a rabbit out the hat. What? They trust in oppression. They stay thereon. Verse 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. Yeah, this ruling was a wake-up call to a lot of Jakes. As they talking about, now we got set back 60 years at a sudden instant. Their lives have changed in Louisiana and within the political sphere of those who trust in voting in this system to save them. Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Let's get back over here. So the Supreme Court on Wednesday struck down Louisiana's second majority black congressional district in a decision that could open the door for Republican-led states to eliminate black and Latino electoral districts that tend to favor Democrats and affect the balance of power in Congress. So if they're talking about in particular regions in Louisiana, 60% black, and they mapped out areas where they saying, okay, well, they can elect their own, have their own elected officials to represent them, and that will represent the black vote or whatever. Now the white man says, erase all that. There is no black vote, and we're going to acknowledge by recreating these new district zones. We're going to overtake these particular areas, man. And guess what? Them same demons as they're not the mouthpieces of them black folks down there. So back to what we always say: your vote doesn't count. Your vote doesn't matter. This is just the proof of it. In a 6-3 ruling, the court's conservative majority found that the district represented by Democrat Cleo Fields relied too heavily on race. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? Isn't that the white man? Hasn't he always been relying heavily on race? Now when they balance the scales out a little bit, now they're crying wolf. Hey, this isn't fair. There's more black folks in that district. That's racist. Remember last week, I showed you that the civil rights Department of Civil Rights or whatever it is in the White House is ran by all white men. And I think they got one East Indian woman or something like that that's running it. And they said their focus is discrimination against whites. So no longer is it blacks is being discriminated against, or Hispanics are being discriminated against, or being unfairly treated. They're saying white people are now. That's the Twilight Zone world we're in now. Now the white man's down there saying, hey, white voters are being discriminated against down here in the South. We need to take back them votes for them niggas. Okay, there you go. Cleo Fields relied too heavily on race. Chief Justice John Roberts had described the district as a, quote, snake that stretches more than 200 miles to link parts of Shreveport, Alexandria, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge areas. The map is unconstitutionally gerrymandering. Justice Samuel Alito wrote for the 6 conservatives. The decision weakens the landmark voting rights laws, protections against discrimination in redistricting. It's unclear how much is left of the provision known as Section 2, the main way to challenge racially discriminatory election practices. All right, look. Impact of the new Civil Rights Act on Louisiana. How's this going to happen? What's going to happen? The recent Supreme Court ruling has significantly weakened the Voting Rights Act, which has historically safeguarded minority representation in Congress. So now that they got to rely on Congress, whether it be for this war, whether it's for the primaries coming up in November, now it's looking like the Republicans is trying to snatch up power grabs in these majority in these particular states so that they don't lose the House. All right, so this decision specifically struck down a majority black congressional district in Louisiana, which led to what? A reduced political power. Minority communities may find it more challenging to contest discriminatory redistricting practices, diminished representation. The ruling could result in fewer elected officials from minority backgrounds, impacting legislative priorities and community interests. So in other words, there'll be less black representation in predominantly black areas, and they're going to get less community interest or legislative priorities in these districts where mostly black people live. White men are going to rule over them again. They're going to be denied a lot of their community interests and things that they may need, that they used to be able to have their own people represent them. That's out now. Back to the whips and chains spiritually and through the court systems as they're changing the game. But we was kind of forewarned of this. Now, watch this though. A lot of our people don't know about the Voting Rights Act and just the sheer right of blacks being able to vote. I remember speaking on this years ago, like in 2007, teaching and talking about this, because remember, These provisions in the Voting Rights Act had to keep getting extensions. They have expiration dates. So essentially, even the right for Black or Hispanic to vote could be swiped off the table in 2032? Look at this. Originally, legislators hoped that within 5 years of its passage, the issues surrounding the 1965 Voting Rights Act would be resolved and there would be no further need for its enforcement-related provisions. Did you hear that? Voting Rights Act, which includes the right to vote. They said, well, within 5 years, everybody get used to it. We ain't got to worry about, enforcing it or stepping back on it. They were wrong. Congress had to extend these provisions in 1970, 75, 82. So look, they passed in 65. Within 5 years, they had to extend it. They said, all right, give them 5 more years. Okay, to 75. Oh, don't do another 5, do 7 this time. Okay, to 82. And then they had, in 2007, they extended the Voting Rights Act for 25 years. So they said, well, we'll just shut them up, man. Give them another 25 years of the Voting Rights Act and the ability to vote and everything else. Now, 7 years shy of that date. Is it 7 years? No, 2007 to 32. 6 years. 6 years shy of them actually being able to say no more voting for any of you niggas. They say, well, we'll just adjust it. We'll start redistricting. We'll start with that. So that shows you the time frame. As time moves on, they're going to slowly but surely just snatch it all off the table. And then what? Complete tyranny. Look down here. Enforcement measures include: they must prove that the proposed change does not deny or infringe on the right to vote on account of race or color. Hello? Notice it said these were the enforcements. These were the provisions. They had extended 5 years. The first 5 years, they said, we'll give them another 5. All right, good. We'll give them another 7. All right. Then in 2007, it popped up under George Bush, and they said, I think 2007, and George Bush tried to sway the black vote because remember he was going up against Obama, and he signed it for another 25 years. Didn't work. Obama still came in and got it cracking. But that shows you, man. Jake didn't even know. They think, oh, we got the right to vote. Blacks, we fought hard for this. White man still got a provision in there that says it will expire by 2032 unless they re-sign another extension. That should tell you something, man. They never respected us. When they say we got to keep them on a short leash, well, we'll give them a little bit more. Give them a little bit. I'll pull it back, pull it back. If we were really equal and we really had the same rights as them, there would be no need for this. They would just say indefinitely or forever. No more of these time-framed extensions. But that ain't the case because they want to make sure that they keep niggas controlled and under the delusions that politics is working for them. Need us to be reminded of Project 2025? Maybe we got to double back on that. Remember all of the hype about Project 2025, man. Trump is gonna. Project 2025 is bad. Yeah, well, guess what? This is part of it. And he lied on that and said, I haven't really read it. I don't know much about it. I know a couple of people, they're good people that wrote some stuff on there, but I'm not using that for my campaign. Really? You lying damn devil. Look, Project 2025 proposes policy changes to limit the political participation of Black and other marginalized communities, which will significantly discourage both census participation and voter engagement. Hello? Project 2025. This is what people were fearing he was going to utilize during his campaign if he was to be elected. And now we see part of Project 2025 because they used the census in 2020 to make these particular districts. That's why they pressure everybody with the census every 10 years, popping up at your door, saying if you sign the census, this is the law. You need to make sure that you register. We need to know who's living here, how many of you are, and da-da-da. And they use the census, and now they're using it against Jake. So it proposes policy changes to limit the political participation of Black and other marginalized communities, which will significantly discourage both census participation and voter engagement. These policy proposals will directly harm Black communities and other communities of color, undermining efforts to achieve an accurate census count and weakening the Department of Justice's capacity to defend voting rights. He shall cause his own tongue to fall upon himself. See, they tell you what they're going to do, but Jake don't give a damn. They ain't paying no attention. But there ain't nothing he can do about it either, man. The earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. This is why Israel needs to repent. This is why we got to seek the face of the Lord 10 times or more, man, so that the elect can be sealed and we can get the hell out of here and we can have vengeance on our enemies be shown, man. We cannot win in this place. At all. So, there you go. Now, even on this note, I was thinking about this with the fires and all that. There's a particular website that I use for the Bible, and I went on there to use it today. Look what it says on here. This is how you know when there's a particular attack on those that's, utilize. Now, yeah, there's other online Bibles you can use and all that other stuff, right? But this is the one I like because they got the Apocrypha. Y'all seen it plenty of times. Try to use it today. Dear KJV reading community, this is a temporary emergency website. Hackers attempted to gain control of the site and hold it for ransom. Please pray for them and for all services to be restored. May God bless you, KJBO. Isn't that nice of them? Pray for them, right? Let's see. I got this saved on my desktop. Oh, it's back. They must have got it off. This particular site got hacked. But that goes to show you too, man, that they can compromise. They can get on here and hack any of these online Bibles and all that Jace get used to. That's why all the soldiers and the men that came up under me and Elder Rhyme and other brothers that by honor, all y'all brothers know, we always just say, man, don't rely on them damn phones, man. You better have your sword. You better have your books on hand. Because at any time they could turn the damn power off, they could turn your app off, they could shut down, they could corrupt things. And show them. Now they had some little temporary site, right? But it's just going to show you, man, that the Bible is going to be under attack. As the scriptures say, man, there's not going to be a famine of bread and water, but a hearing the word of the Lord. In Canada, they already got a law compromising, saying, utilizing the Bible for quote unquote hate will be outlawed. And they'll have to define what that means. So they're playing games because they're saying, online there's been memes and stuff made saying Canada's outlawing the Bible, blah, 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 blah. Well, you can't read the Bible anymore. Well, that's not entirely true because the devil's in the details. You can read the Bible, you can quote the Bible, you can do it all publicly. But they say if you use it to promote hate, quote unquote, then that's illegal. So you can't read Leviticus 20 and 13 and speak about sodomite behavior and activities and the punishments for those, because guess what? Some flaming sodomite will come up and say, that's hate, I'm offended. I can't believe you said that about me. I love John and John loves me. I'm Jeff. And you say, well, John, Jeff, both of y'all are going to get put to death according to the word of the Lord. Straighten up. Now that's the problem. But I can go out and read John 3:16 all day. That's not the case. So now they got the fact checkers running around there saying, "Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. Don't listen to these goofy people online spreading lies about Canada." No, it's how you use the Bible, which we know that they've already classified the quote unquote Black Hebrew Israelites as a what hate group. So that means anything that you're reading out there on the highways and hedges, or highways and byways, as most like to say, but the scriptures say highways and hedges, but highways and byways, right? It's already going to be classified as hate. They're going to be saying, "Oh, we already know about you guys. You guys are a hate group. We're sure you're using this and weaponizing this for hate. Ban them. Arrest them, man." But this is just a provision that we see, man. Bible sites getting hacked and being held for ransom. Now, I see it's back up, all praises. But I don't know. Did they pay a ransom? Did they end up finding out? I don't know what they did. But it's back now. But earlier today and most of the day, it was down. Look at this. $50 movie ticket has arrived. I mean, who's going to the movies now? First of all, they ain't got no dang really good movies out there. And ain't nobody paying $50 for no damn movie. I've seen movie, where was it? One of my sons went to go see the little Michael Jackson movie yesterday. I meant to ask him, was it empty or not? How many people was in there? But I ain't been to movie theaters, I don't know how long. It's just not entertaining and it ain't worth it. But they're talking about $50 now to go to the movies. And they got the good movie theaters. They got the reclining chairs. They can serve you food, serve you drinks while you're in there and all that. But it is not worth it. But this is where the inflation is going. This is where how people are looking for their entertainment. In this climate, this is why Hollywood is going out of business right now. If you look online, you see Hollywood is suffering because of streaming, because of AI. Locations now is costing more, taxes in other states, man. They filming out of the country and doing all kinds of. The industry is going down. I just seen the new Avatar. Well, they ain't new, but the latest Avatar. I mean, 95% of that movie was AI and CGI. I think they had maybe one real actor in there. That, if I can remember, it was like one real actor in that damn movie. That movie was like 3 hours long. They ain't doing that. Hollywood is almost out of here, and they got the nerve to try to go out with a bang. Like, well, $50. Let's see who'll pay. You're out of here. So this is where the inflation is going. This is where the power grab goes. With the industry. And just to follow up, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about preparation, looking at the food, what's going on. You got farm bankruptcy, farms are up 46% in bankruptcy filings. What's that tell us? That the farms are going broke. The food supplies will suffer. But don't worry, guess who bought the biggest amount of farmland in the USA? Y'all know. Put his name in the chat. I don't have to say it. Who's the largest farmland owner in the US right now? While the normal mom and pop farms are filing bankruptcy, going out of business. U.S. farm bankruptcies increased 46% in 2025 to 315 filings, marking a continued rise driven by high operating costs and low commodity prices. While rising, this rate remains lower than the 2019 peak of 599. Regionally, the Midwest and Southwest experienced the highest distress, accounting for over 2/3 of the cases. Yeah, and guess what? And remember that $1 billion settlement for the black farmers, for them being discriminated against? They still ain't getting paid yet. They settled that years ago. Now they're talking about what? the shortage of fertilizer because of the war, the diesel fuel. They can't afford it, man. So by next year, there'll be a food shortage for sure. The food that is available is going to be expensive, and the cheap food that you and I and most of the Israelites, Black and Hispanic and Native Americans can afford is going to be compromised with the Franken foods, the GMOs, and everything else. So, and all of the carcinogens and the slow kill madness in the food, BPA and everything, they're going to get all that's going to be available for us next year and the years moving forward. And there's going to be food shortages. That's a fact. So get ready. Prepare now. Save up what you can, because this year's farm crops will last through the rest of the year. The impact that the war is happening on the fertilizer, the diesel, the fuel, the planting, that's going to impact later this year and next year's crops. So whatever you can afford to get, store up, freeze dry, vacuum seal, do what you can. Maybe one time this month, I'll look at seeing what we can do as far as, like, speak about certain stuff, and some of y'all are already on top of your game. Others may need some help in trying to figure out, well, what to get, what should I do with it. And I've been hesitant to even kind of show what's going on over here, because I'm like, man, I'm sick of Issa already know every damn thing, but I don't want him knowing everything I got or we got or whatever the hell's going on. But people need to know. So we'll probably do something on some preparatory class or something maybe this month, or Lord willing before maybe next month. We'll see how the schedule and the timing goes, but at least give brothers and sisters some ideas, or encourage preparing for the incoming distress that's going to be happening. Look at it. Trump and Iran are locked in a high-stakes standoff as oil prices hit a 4-year high. Yeah, because of this whole thing, man, they said that the oil prices is up at a 4-year high, but it's almost highest it's ever been. We seen that last week. What the headlines are saying. So, get ready, man. They said the Midwest. Where was you at, Bayan? Y'all over $5 now? Or no, it's four something. I'd be begging for that if I was you. 4 and some change. It's 6+ out here. You might find someplace that might get you the regular for like $5.95, $5.99, something like that, a gallon. But other than that, you can forget about it. I'm seeing more and more of them little e-bikes and cats riding on them damn scooters. There's a whole lot of them riding around now. That's for sure. You say you have $5 now? Yeah. In the summer, anyway, the summertime travel is really going to get bad too. Now this also I found interesting too. A couple more of them will close out. 5 bald eagles mysteriously found dead, not due to natural causes, in a troubling Michigan case. So I look at this in the spirit. If the bald eagles are an endangered species, they also represent America, always represent Rome, and now all of a sudden they're mysteriously being found dead, and it's not due to natural causes. They're being taken out, right? Very interesting, because that's the end all be all for this place. That's like the writing on the wall. That's an ominous sign to show that America is on its way out the door. Let's look at 2nd Ezra 11, and we'll just read we'll read the last 4 verses. So 2nd Ezra 11:43. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mightiest. So it's talking about the eagle. It's talking about the last beast kingdom, America. right? The spawn of Rome. Okay. See this right here? Verse 40, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world with great fearfulness and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. So they're talking about Esau when he came into power under the fourth beast. See that? Verse 39, talking about the fourth beast. Same one Daniel was talking about. Yeah, Babylon, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks, and Rome. And out of Rome comes America. So this is the extension of power of America through Rome, right? But primarily this is talking about Rome. Even when you see up here, verse 37, we'll read 36 and 37. It says, Then I heard a voice which said unto me, Look before thee and consider the thing that thou seest. And I behold, and lo, as it were a roaring lion chased out of the wood, and I saw that he sent out of a man's voice unto the eagle and said, Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? Oh, so what do we read in 2 Ezra 6 and 9? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth it. The earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. This is the last remaining beast. This is it, y'all. The end of the so-called white man's reign. He's ruling under auspices of the beast system, or the fourth beast. Under Rome is daddy, right? Let me open up one more so I can do this as quickly. Let's look at 2 Ezra. I want to read chapter 12. One verse in chapter 12. And so we can put it all together. 2 Ezra 12. And I want to read 11. 10 and 11. It says, And he said unto me, This is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision by thy brother Daniel. So if you remember in Daniel, the 7th chapter, he described what the lion with the eagle. I mean the lion with the eagle's wings, the bear with the 3 ribs in his mouth, the leopard. But the fourth beast, it said it had talons and all this other stuff, but it didn't say the animal that it represented. Ezra received the finalization of the vision. He said that fourth beast represented the eagle, or was an eagle, right? Now, going back, it says that this same eagle got chased out by a lion. Who's the lion? Christ. He's the lion of the tribe of Judah, but it says what? Describing and speaking about this fourth beast, Esau under Rome and America. Verse 40, and the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past and had power over the world with great fearfulness and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. So he's been in control for a long time. Since 333 BC, he's been ruling. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. That's the MO of the so-called white man. Continuing on, therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. That goes without saying. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled, and therefore appear no more, thou eagle. That's the end of Esau's reign. Nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, no more rulers, no more politicians, kings, princes, rulers, dignitaries, they're out of here. Thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. So this is the end-all be-all destruction of the wicked eagle beast that represents the so-called white man in his kingdom. But it said that he's going to be taken out. Horrible wings gone, feathers gone. So symbolically, we're seeing, we just got to read about how America and the the luster of America is dwindling. Everybody sees it. Now you got bald eagles dying and found and dead, not due to natural causes. They're being taken out somehow. They haven't been figured out. But now they're a whole national bird that's already an endangered species. And if you look at it in the spirit, from the spirit of Cain carrying on over to Esau, what was it? What did Most High say about Cain? He said, a fugitive and a vagabond he's going to be. A fugitive is a wanted criminal with no home. That's why he goes out and conquers and takes everything. Only thing he had was the Caucasus Mountains. But who wants to stay there? So a vagabond, as he runs out, conquering, slaughtering, taking what he wants. But now we see the bald eagles now. Everything's catching up to him. Everything's moving in the spirit. We just got to pay attention. Bald eagles now found and dead. Multiple cases of a deadly lung disease reported in guests staying at the luxury Las Vegas hotel and casino. I heard tourism is down in Vegas. Ain't nobody going to Vegas, but I guess, people that still want to go there end up going over there catching a bad case of what's it called? Not Lyme disease. Legionnaire's disease. And they had an outbreak of that in Harlem, New York last year. Coming through old, rundown air conditioners and the water supply and all that, man, jacking people up. It's always respiratory, man. You get hit with this, and next thing you know, you're going outside and they got the damn chemtrails spraying all over the place. There's a lot of people that got hit with, respiratory issues. But there's a plague, deadly lung disease. People staying at the Wynn Hotel. Cases of a deadly lung disease have been reported this week, and people who stayed at the luxury Las Vegas hotel. 2 guests at Wynn Las Vegas Hotel tested positive for Legionnaire's disease, a severe form of pneumonia, spread through contaminated water vapor that kills 1 in 10 patients. It is caused by bacteria that thrives in warm, wet, and moist environments. So, heads up on that. Plagues is out. Esau trying to get some tourists over there for a quick buck at the expense of people's health. He don't give a damn, as long as he can get paid from it, right? The eagle is falling. Trump still running around lying. Jim Crow 2.0 is on deck. A lot happening, y'all. A lot happening, man. So I'm going to end this one tonight, man. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High IQAhmath, man. I'll be back tomorrow with a closing Shabbat lesson. Tune in 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, man. Come join us as we close out the Lord's Sabbath, man, with another powerful lesson through the Spirit. So, Lord willing, man, if you're catching this tomorrow or you fell asleep, you got to finish it up, man. Well, good morning, good afternoon, shalom. And Lord willing, man, I catch y'all tomorrow, all right? Y'all be well. Take care. Shalom.